Right guys, I've been at work for 12 hours on my birthday, but I want to make a video, so hello. I want to talk about a spherical video, VR 360 vids, and it's something that I want to get into in this year on this channel. It's why I've just sold half my Mega Drive collection, is to get a decent 360 camera to do this with, and I'm pretty psyched about it. I watched the video by 2Veritasium, who is a brilliant content provider. If you haven't seen 2Veritasium already, definitely go and check him out. Link will be in the low bar. Lots of really interesting science videos and good stuff. But he made a video called "Why Spherical Video is a Bad Idea," and he goes over some of the points that he's got with regards to why he doesn't think spherical video is the future, so to speak. Now, he made it in the context of having been to VidCon 2016, where he was a vocal critic of spherical video, and he got a lot of flack for it by all accounts. But you know, he was talking about it. He was being critical of it in the context of being a filmmaker. So you think, you know, things like building narratives or documentaries, that kind of thing. And yeah, I agree with a lot of what he said. For certain purposes, you know, spherical video is not going to be the one. You know, he was pointing out that as a director, you want to be able to direct people's attention to certain things at certain times to keep the story going, build the narrative, and all of that. And in VR, of course, you can't be sure that people are going to be looking at the right place at the right time, and that's certainly true. But I think while that's true, you know, for certain aspects of film or video production, whatever you want to call that, it's going to provide challenges, but I also think it opens up opportunities as well. It's, you know, to approach it from a different point of view, to look at how you can play around with it, and what new opportunities there are for this type of video. So, for example, I'll put a link in the low bar to a really interesting production that's been made. I really can't wait to see how this turns out. And it's basically a murder mystery in VR. So you're placed in this big posh room in this big house, and this kind of you know, Cluedo style scenario plays out in front of you. And I think it's pretty interesting. You know, imagine the potential of, you know, if you look at the right place at the right time, you might catch a little look, a little giveaway, or some, you know, some characters will do something or say something that will give you an insight into what's going on, that kind of thing. So that's really interesting. It's just one way of using it. But I think spherical video has its uses in other things, not necessarily in building narratives, although it certainly will offer new ways of doing that. So, you know, it's certainly not going to replace the normal way of making films. It's certainly not going to replace watching things on flat screens, of course not. But I certainly think it has legs in terms of its own niche. I think it has that staying power potential, especially given the inevitable improvements in the technology. You know, as you get higher and higher resolutions, and we get faster internet and all the rest of it, you know, streaming will be easier. The bandwidths won't be so much of a problem as they kind of are now, because these videos have to be so high def, and the way that, you know, it's data intensive. But, and just to, I'm going off piste here a little bit, but one of the points 2Veritasium makes is, yeah, this technology provides challenges to it, but if you look at the stuff we were using 20 years ago, it seems archaic to what we've got now. So I don't see a problem with there being enough of an improvement in VR over the coming years that it will be affordable, accessible, and of a high enough quality to appeal to a lot of people. So I think that will happen. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I think it has a use in as a memory device. I'm sure there's some better phrase for that. I can't think of it right now after 12 hours at work. But you know, in the same way that you use photographs or home videos to go back to a special time and place, I think spherical video is a very powerful way of doing that, and it's one of the things I want to do this year, is to take it to, for example, Glastonbury Festival, which is an ideal use for this type of video, because, you know, in every direction you look, there's something interesting to see. And I think it's just a really powerful way of going back to a special time and place and to use it in that way. And even more so to people who can't experience certain environments. You know, I work in a dementia home, and I'm really excited about the potential for this, for spherical videos for the residents in dementia homes. I have already actually taken in one of my cheap VR headsets and used my phone in the front of it, you know, to show some of these residents spherical video, and things like being in a jungle, being in a, you know, on the plains, seeing tigers and lions around, and or swimming through coral reefs, or being up on some snowy mountain, or, you know, just to be able to go somewhere else is a really powerful thing. And, you know, I was showing these videos to the residents at the dementia home on a crappy iPhone 5S, so really small screen, not the best VR experience, and they loved it. So I'm really excited to see how they will respond to better quality spherical video. So yeah, while it's not going to replace like traditional ways of telling stories, doing documentaries, it provides a different way of doing things. It provides, there's certainly a lot of opportunity there to do a lot of interesting things. So I think spherical video is a really good idea, but it's horses for courses. It's not going to replace everything. It is going to open up new doors. So I'm pretty excited about it, and stay tuned on this channel. Hopefully in a couple of months I'll start doing some spherical video, but I have to decide which camera to get. That is a minefield, because it doesn't seem like there's any one perfect 360 camera to get in the kind of mid-price range, because I'm not going crazy. I'm probably going to be limited to about 400-500 quid, and there are a few out there, but yeah, there's no standout winner. You know, there's lots of different things to consider. You know, exposures, the control of how it looks, exposure, white balance, charging, you know, compatibility, obviously resolution, you know, in low light, how it performs in low light. There's so many different variables, and yeah, but that's a video for another day. I will stop talking now because I'm knackered. Alright guys, bye bye.